Hi everyone, good evening, Jai Hind. This session is for the parents of the students who are in grade 3 to 7. I'm going to talk about three amazing habits which every parent should ensure is there in their children. Particularly in this age group, grade 3 to 7, because this is the age group wherein the child is able to learn the fastest, is able to develop the logical thinking strongest, and it is this age group which ensures that if these habits are there, the child becomes problem solver for life. Now, one important myth I want to break, one important stereotype I want to break is that school marks are not necessarily does it means that the child is great in mathematics. Some students are very good in following procedures. Some students are very good in memorizing formulas and are able to apply them very quickly. But again, that does not mean they're good in mathematics. Mathematics is very different thing. Mathematics is all about solving new problems. If there's a problem which is new to them, if their children have not seen those problems, are they capable enough of solving those problems on their own? So this is what we call problem solving skills, which sadly does not get developed in a generic place like schools in most of the cases. I'm not talking about all schools, but again, in most of the places, the students are taught formulas, they memorize those formulas, they apply those formulas, and they get marks also. But again, please understand, good marks in school has no relation to how good or bad the child is in mathematics. Right? So these are two very different things. So let's talk about the first habit. The first habit is to encourage the children to ask why. Now, this is where a lot of students, fail. A lot of students follow the instructions given to them by the teachers. They follow the method, they follow the theorems given to them by the teachers, and they do not ask why. And if they do not ask why, this ये जो habit है ये बाद में भी चलती रहती है, and ultimately the child will be very good in following the instructions, but he will never be able to make his own rules, make his own theorems, solve his own problems, to solve the problems which he has not seen before. Right. So it is very important to make sure the child asks why. And it is not the duty of the teacher, it is the duty of the parent to ensure that whatever formulas, whatever things is studying, particularly in mathematics, he should know the reason. And again, if it is not being taught at the school level, it is parents' responsibility to make sure that they encourage the why, and they also answer his why question, so that this habit gets developed and it becomes a long lasting habit. एक simple example मैं जो हमेशा use करता हूँ is a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. For example, if we have a number like 865, if I want to tell whether this number is divisible by 3 or not, the simple rule is 8 plus 6 plus 5. Find this number, and if that sum is divisible by 3, the number is divisible by 3, otherwise it is not. But again, I can guarantee that very few students would be able to tell why this rule works. Right? So this is very important, because if the child is able to learn this, he will be able in a position to make his own rules. He will be empowered. He will feel confident. Right? So this is very important, particularly in mathematics at this stage, because बाकी सब्जेक्ट्स के अंदर भी भाई इंपॉर्टेंट है, बट छोटी क्लासेस में ना 3 to 7 में the logical part of other subjects is less as compared to the logical part of mathematics. And हम formulas देके, हम बच्चों को procedures देके, वो logical part maths का भी कम करते रहते हैं, which should not happen. Right? So this is very important, particularly at this stage, students should learn to ask why, and if they're not getting answers to those whys, it is the parents' responsibility to make sure कि उनको वो whys के answers provide किए जाएं, because अगर एक बार ये आदत छूट गई और नहीं पढ़ी, and so again it is going to be academically very fatal for the student. The second is allowing students and children to struggle and think independently. Now I see this a lot. So when I unmute a lot of students, the parents are sitting with them, which is a very good thing. And also in the offline workshops, I see that if I ask a question to a student, and if the child is not able to answer that question, and if the parent is sitting beside him, immediately he starts giving the hints. Right? So this is something that we need to avoid. The children should be allowed to make mistakes and also to be able to rectify those mistakes. सबसे बड़ी लर्निंग जो होती है ना, वो तब होती है बच्चे को जब वो अपनी मिस्टेक्स खुद रियलाइज करता है. right? So this is the biggest learning, and this is the biggest movement of learning that can happen to a child. So let him make mistakes and allow him to rectify his own mistakes rather than telling him or giving him hints that this is not correct, right? So this is very important, and this habit is something which needs to be inculcated in the students, because learning सबसे ज़्यादा important इसी तरीके से होती है, when you learn, when you try to rectify your own mistakes on your own, right? So this is habit number 2 that you should definitely inculcate. Habit number 3 is introduce puzzles, chess, Sudoku, and mental maths. So when I say mental maths, there are a lot of help books of mental mathematics which you can always order. Secondly, जो NCERTs हैं particularly, NCERTs में make sure that he is able to solve a lot of problems of NCERT orally, mentally, unless there are a lot of calculations involved. Now, यहाँ पर क्या होता है? Again, this is where I am totally against the schools that whenever a child is skipping the steps, they cut marks. Real life में, if the child actually wants to be good in mathematics, he has to skip steps. He has to make sure that is able to get to step 4 quickly and directly from step 1, and this is something which is very important, right? So again, if the school is not helpful, the teacher is not helpful, make sure that parents at their end, they tell their children that it is okay to skip steps, not in the school while writing the answers in the school, but again, when you're practicing at home, try to answer those questions orally, unless that question involves a lot of calculations. Sudokus, mental chess, playing, and thought puzzles. So thought puzzles is one thing which we do in our classes very regularly, and so again, and it should be followed by the discussions also. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि बच्चे को thought puzzle दे दिया and of course if he's able to do, well done. If he's not able to do, maybe try another. It should be always followed by discussion. Even if the child has been able to find the answer correctly, he should be given, and those correct methods, correct ideas should always be discussed. This is something which is very, very, very important and also missing from the school system. Now, one of the ways to develop these all things together is non-routine mathematics. So non-routine mathematics is something that is not directly related to the school math, but definitely helps in the school math. Okay, so non-routine mathematics का मतलब है answering of the whys. If the number is divisible by 3, the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So again, developing on this particular topic, right? So I'm just giving an example, is what we call non-routine mathematics, right? So and this is something which definitely helps develop the logical part of the child, particularly in grades 3 to 7, and they improve the analytical thinking and also builds the confidence. The second part and the best part is this non-routine mathematics always helps improving the school marks as well, because overall understanding of the school topics is much higher, because the child is always able to answer the whys which he has not been answered to by the school teachers. Now, this is very important if we want to make sure that the children are thinkers and not just the score seekers, which in the long run is not going to matter much, right? So on the basis of these, we have launched our courses, VOS Juniors. VOS Juniors are for grades 3 to 7. There's a separate batch for grade 3 students, and there's a weekend batch also. Likewise for 4 and 4 weekend, 5 and 5 weekend, 6 and 6 weekend, and there is a grade 7 batch. तो हर बैच के अंदर every class is divided into 3 parts. So one is the core maths, wherein we teach the core fundamentals, we answer the whys. The second part is the logical puzzle. We spend 10 minutes in every class on a thought puzzle which we give to the students, and we discuss those puzzles. The third is the speed maths, right? So we make sure that the child is good in basic calculations, basic skills अच्छे हैं, and every class is based on a different calculation skill, which children love, by the way, right? So these are the batches which are going to start. So you can see the start date, you can see the class days, you can see the timings, and you can also see the teacher. If you want to take the screenshot, you can. So there's grade 3 weekend, 4 weekend, 5 weekend, and most of the batches are going to start from 20th of May. That is the coming week. So again, every class, as I mentioned, is divided into 3 parts, and every course is divided into 5 modules. These are 5 independent modules which are not related to each other. So again, for example, for grade 3, we have number theory, logical, geometry, data handling, and one more. Right, so every module is independent, and in 1 month approximately we cover a module, 8 classes, plus a test and a test discussion class. So grade 3 is going to have 45 classes over about 5 months, and there's going to be additional SOF support for the students who want to study and who are writing this SOF examination. The weekday batch is starting from 20th of May, weekend from 22nd of May. Weekday batches timings are Monday and Thursday 7 to 8 p.m. Weekends are Saturday and Sunday 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. The price of the batch is 10,999. The link is there in the description box. Likewise, for grade 4, there are 45 classes, 5 modules. All these batches, about the batches I've already explained in a separate video. You can always have a look. And if you have any query, there is a Google form also, which is there in the description box. You can always fill the form and our team is going to get in touch. So additional classes for SOF preparation. Weekday batch starts from 25th May, Tuesday, Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Weekend batch, 22nd May, Saturday, Sunday, 5:45 to 6:45 p.m. The batch price is 10,999. The link is there in the description box. For grade 5, they're going to be same 40. The sector is exactly the same, 45 classes, but additional classes for SOF and also for NMTC, which is a great math contest. The weekday batch starts from 20th May, Monday, Thursday, 8:15 to 9:15. Weekend, 22nd May, Saturday, Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. Again, the same price, same teacher. Grade 6, 45 classes. Weekday batch, weekend batch, you can see the timings. There is going to be additional SOF and NMTC support as well. And for grade 7, there is only one weekday batch. There is no weekend batch. 45 classes. And the batch weekday is starting from 25th of May, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. It is going to be taken by Praveen sir. The batch timings, the batch price is 10,999, and the links are there in the description box. So if you're interested, you can join these batches. If there's any query, please fill the form which is there in the description box, and we'll make sure these habits that we talk about, we will definitely ensure those children who join these courses inculcate those habits. Take care. God bless you. Bye, everyone.